I just want to say hello to whoever is listening. Hi. And I'm just getting on here today because, I'm just being obedient to the Lord and what it is that He wants me to do. I don't know who this is for or who needs to hear this, but today is the day the Lord wants me to give my testimony, so I'm going to do that. So excuse me if you hear cars or any noise or birds chirping or anything like that, because I'm at the lake. I'm in my car, as you can see. But yeah, I'm gonna get on here. I'm gonna be obedient to the Lord. What you see is what you get. And so yeah, bear with me. This is my first time. Well, it's not my first time, doing YouTube. I've actually done it years back, but you know, forget that. Forget years back. This is my first time doing YouTube, as I am and who I am today. So you just got to excuse me. You got to bear with me. This is raw. This is uncut. This is unfiltered. Like I said, what you see is what you get. So anybody that has any problem with it, or you don't agree with my style, don't listen to it. I advise you to take this to God. You should be taking anything that you hear from anyone to God. So take this to God. And if this is for you, you'll know. But like I said, still take it to God and confirm it. But yeah. So like I said, just bear with me. I don't know how long this is going to take. I don't know if I'm going to have to do this in parts. I don't know if I'm going to get this all done today. I'm just going to let the Lord move this in along, or do this however it is that he wants it to be done. So for now, I'm just going to get on here and talk. And however which way direction he leads this, or how wherever he wants to go with this, that's what we going to do. But let's see, my testimony. Well, let's see, how should we start this? Where should we go with this? Okay, well, let me go to the year 2025. Let's go to the winter of 2025. Okay, so I went through a series of things in my life. A lot of things had happened to me. I had lost a mother. I had lost a mother-in-law. And then a little while after that, around the following year, around the same time, I lost my mother. So I had lost a mother-in-law around Christmas time. And then I had lost a mother around, I'm not going into dates on this, because this what I'm telling you is leading up to the winter of 2025. So I had lost a mother-in-law. And then around Christmas time, the holidays, I want to say probably it's been some time. Like I said, I'm not about to go into dates, but I lost a mother-in-law around Christmas time. And then the following year, I lost my mom around Christmas time. So this happened 2 different years around the same time. And then also at that same time, you can say I lost a marriage. Some things happened in my marriage that had came out around that same time, the same time I lost my mother. And I was just getting bombarded with things. One thing after another just kept happening to me. And then so that led me into drinking. The night I lost my mother, and it happened in a she died in a horrific way. But the day I got the call that I lost my mom is the day I picked up a bottle and I started drinking. And I want to say I lost my mom. I'm going to tell you, this is just how long I've been drinking. I was drinking every day since I lost my mother. I want to say maybe about, like I said, I can't go into dates. I will have to get back to you guys with these dates. But I lost my mom around, I'm so sorry, I can't remember. Let's just say I've been drinking for years. I've been drinking every day for the past, I want to say 6 years. We're going to say 6 years. It could be 7. I don't know. But every day, but we're going to say 6 to be safe. So every day for the past 6 years, I have been drinking. Well, I had been drinking. I'm not drinking anymore. I had been drinking. And so the winter of 2025, that's when I got to my lowest of drinking. I got to my lowest. I had been drinking for years. When I got to the year 2025, it had been ongoing every day for, I want to say, like I said, probably about 6 years. It could be anywhere. I'm gonna give you a time frame from anywhere between 5 to 7 years. I have been drinking every day. And so I got to my breaking point that year. I got to my lowest. My health was starting to decline. I had put on a good amount of weight. I was knocking on 200 pounds. My hair was coming out. You could look at me and you could see it. I was the stench. You know, I was smelling like it. My smell wasn't right because I had been drinking heavy every day, all day. You know how people say functioning alcoholic. I can probably say I don't think I was functioning. I think if somebody was next to me, they could smell it, they could see it, but I was still getting up. I was getting up doing what I needed to do to survive. I mean, yes, I was still getting up, taking showers and things like that and putting clothes on. But if anybody knew me, before that, anybody that knew me and knew who I was a fashion girly. Hair, makeup, dressed, you know what I'm saying? That's who I was. I was into fashion. I was into hair. I was into makeup. I cared about my appearance. I don't know. Some people will probably say I was a little vain. That's what my daughter will always say. She's like, you're vain. And don't worry about that. The Lord worked all that out of me, which is why you see me on here the way I am today. But that's who I was. Anybody that knew me knew me. You didn't see me. You saw me dressed to impress. Okay. But going through all that knocked me down. You know, it knocked me down. All this stuff came and it knocked me down. And so, but yeah, I would say that I was just getting by. I was just getting by day by day. I was just doing just enough. But like I said, anybody that saw me, if you were standing next to me, you would look at me and be like, you know, I could smell it or I could see it. You know, to me, I thought I was hiding, but it wasn't being hidden. You could tell. But like I said, that's when I got to my lowest. And what really did it for me is I looked in the mirror one day. And, you know, I don't care what people say. Demons, they have a look. And I looked in that mirror, and I promise you, I kid you not, I saw that thing. I saw that I was starting to look like that spirit. I could see that spirit on me. I could see it in me. I could see it on me. It was there. And I saw myself becoming this thing every day. I was becoming this thing. And I think that's when it really started to click for me, because it wasn't the fact that I was smelling like it. It wasn't the fact that all my back was hurt, my kidneys was hurting, I'm getting fat. I'm getting fat. I'm waking up every night because I can't sleep, because I can't breathe. I can't sleep. I'm not, I can't keep food down. I'm getting up in the shower, vomiting, dry heaving, because I can't keep food down because this thing has overtaken me. It wasn't that. That snapped me out of it. Sadly, it was me looking in that mirror, and I was seeing this thing in me and on me. And like I said, the Lord, he knew me. He knew that I cared about what I look like. And it was that in that moment that made me realize, like, you are starting to look like this thing. You're becoming this thing. You're looking like this thing. Do you want to go out like this? And no, I don't want to go out like that. I didn't want to go out like that. So that's when I had to cry out to the Lord and tell him to help me, to come save me, because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't save myself. I couldn't get myself up out of this pit that I had dug and laid in for all of these years. I couldn't do it. There was a part of me that didn't want to. There was a part of me that didn't want to stop. And then there was this other part of me that knew I couldn't stop. And so I had to come to the Lord as I was. And I had to cry out to him and tell him that I needed help. And I needed him to save me, because I couldn't do it. I would have died trying to do that myself. There was just no way. So I had to go to the Lord in that state, in that condition, and ask him to save me. And I had to be honest with him. I had to tell him, I had to be like, look, God, there's a part of me that don't want to stop. There's a part of me that does not want to put this bottle down. And then there's this other half of me that can't. You are going to have to come do this. You are going to have to come save me. You're going to have to come pull me up out of this pit that I dug for myself and that I laid down in, because I gave up. I gave up on life. I gave up. Too many things had happened to me that made me go pick this bottle up. And so, yeah, I went to God as I was. And it was that winter, the winter of 2025. And I was crying at night, calling on him. I was waking up calling on him. I was still in my sin. I was going to bed drinking. I was waking up drinking. But at the same time, I was calling on him. I was calling on Jesus to come and save me. But as I was calling on Jesus to come save me, I was drinking. I was still drinking heavy. I hadn't stopped drinking. I was drinking heavy. I was waking up drinking. I was going to bed drinking. But I was still calling on God. And I got to be honest with you. That's how this thing went. I was deep in my sin, but I was still calling on him. And yeah, there came a moment where I was starting to lose hope, because I'm deep in my sin and I'm calling on him, but at the same time I don't see nothing happening. I didn't see anything happening. So I start to, you know how they say you got to have hope you got a little hope as small as a mustard seed. That's all you need. Okay, that's what I had. That's what I had. And then I was starting to even lose that little bit of hope, because I didn't think God was hearing me. I didn't think he was listening to me. But then something happened. I was on YouTube. I was always scrolling YouTube. And so I was on YouTube and I came across this, I don't know if you guys know who she is, but her name is Ebony Evans. Shout out to her. But her name is Ebony Evans, and I suggest you guys just go listen to some of her stuff. Go listen to her. That is a true woman of God right there, okay? And she does not know me. She does not know that her ministry has helped me. She does not know that I have been a part of her ministry for years. She did not know that. She does not know me. I was one of those people that was silent. I didn't do the shout outs or talking or anything like that. I just would go and just listen, but anyway, she started doing this Jubilee 50, right? And so I seen that as my opportunity to be, that God was, I was like, okay, you're bringing this to me. I think this is something you want me to do. So I did it. I didn't do it right when she started it. I think I did it. I think I caught up on it maybe like a week in. They were already a week into the fast. And so I think I started it the following week, but it's a Jubilee 50 and it's 50 days of consecration. And so I said, okay, I'm going to do this because I felt like that's what the Lord wanted me to do. And mind you, I'm still heavy in this drinking. I'm still heavy in my sin, drinking and smoking cigarettes. But I felt like I needed to do it. So I did it. I came as I was. And I did it. I was doing the fasting. I was listening to the videos she would have up or whatnot. And, the prayers. They would be midnight prayers. I was showing up. I was doing that. And I kid you not, I was showing up drunk. I was drunk and I was smoking. I would do the fasting portion of it. I could hold off long enough to do the fasting portion of it. I wouldn't drink. But as soon as we got through the period of fasting that we needed to get through for the day, I would go pick up that bottle and I would drink. I would smoke a cigarette. Or right before it was time to go into the fasting portion of it, I was drinking and I was smoking. Some of those lives I would have showed up and I would be drunk. But I was still showing up. I didn't know what else to do. That's how desperate I was. I was still deep in my sin, but all I knew to do was to show up. That's all I knew to do. That's all I had in me to do. But I did it. And so, we got through the 50 days of doing that. I'm still crying out to God to help me. I'm still, letting him know that I can't do this by myself. You got to come save me, and he would send words my way that would help me, that would continue to give me the hope that I needed. But here we got past the winter time and here we are coming into the spring, and she also had the Give God February, and then I participated in that, and I still was drinking. But I was still showing up. Like I said, I felt like he called me to do it and I did it, but I was still showing up. And so that ended, and then that was it after that. That was it. I didn't have nothing else. All I knew to do was just to keep calling on him. But like I said, I have been saying this whole time, I was still deep in my sin. I was still drinking and I was still smoking cigarettes. And, we went through that summer. I went through that summer and I was still doing these things. And if you hear me saying we, of course, this is not something I was doing by myself. You have your people you're doing this thing with. So don't mind me when I say we. But me, when I went through the that whole time period, I went through the summer, and I'm losing hope now. I'm starting to lose hope. And then the Lord, I had a sister-in-law I hadn't talked to her, I hadn't spoke to her. She reaches out to me one day, And she says, hey, I'm doing this, this Bible study. I'm gonna be taking this Bible study class, and I want to know, did you want to do it with me? And this is where, like I said, we done went through the summertime and all that. Here we are coming back into, school season getting ready to start. We back into September now. And so this is the year, we here in the year of, hold on. Yeah, this was just September. See, this is the year 2026. So I said 2025. No, you guys, forgive me. It was the year 2024 that I found myself, heavy in my drinking. And that's when I was calling on the Lord that winter. And then so we got through that, and here we are coming around again to the year 2025. Okay, so I was still heavy in my drinking. I had did the consecration and all that. I had did both of them. And so that was the year 2024 that I did the Jubilee 50, and I was heavy in my drinking. Okay, we came out of Jubilee 50. Okay, and I'm still drinking. I'm still doing all of that. All right, and then I did the Give God February. So now we're in the year 2025. That's, Give God February. I did all of that. And I'm still drinking heavy. So back to my sister-in-law. She reached out to me. And this is September. So this is the year 2025. This is September. We're getting back into the school year. That's how I remember it, because I know in September, August, the kids go back to school and all that stuff. And so she reached out to me, and she was like, hey, I'm doing this Bible study. Do you want to do this with me? And I'm like, well, I was going to say no, but something in me said yes. It said yes before I can even react. I said, yes, I do. I want to do this with you. I feel like it was something the Lord was calling me to do. Mind you, I'm still drinking. But I told her, yes, I want to do that. And she said, okay, well, I'm going to send you the information. We could probably be in the same class and whatnot. I'm going to send you the information. I'm going to give the lady your number and let her reach out to you so she can get you signed up. Now, this is a class that you take and you do it. It's like school. So you're doing it the whole school year. And then you let out for you have the little breaks that they let out, the holiday breaks and all that. And then you let out for summer. And so that's what this was. It was something that I would be in. So I said, yeah, I'm going to do that. I want to do that. Anything that I can do that gets me, close to God, or anything that can help me. So yes, I said yes. Not knowing this is how he was going to help me. So this is what he used. Like I said, I had some of that vainness in me was still there. He knew that I was not going to show up to them people's class, because this is Zoom. We're seeing each other. This is in person. He knew that I was not going to want to show up to them people's class drunk and smoking cigarettes, because he know that I know. I was raised in church as a little girl, so I know. He know that I know them people was going to be able to see all that stuff on me. I could have lied and said that I'm not, act like that wasn't happening. He knew that I knew. I'm dealing with women of God. He knew that I knew that those people was going to see that stuff all over me. So he knew that I was not going to want to show up like that. So that's what he used. That's what he used. And so, when they say the Lord don't answer, he don't answer when you want him to, but it's always on time. That's what it was. It wasn't my timing. He didn't answer me how I thought he was going to answer. He didn't answer me when I wanted him to. He answered me in his timing. And in this way that's just, I would have never thunk it. It's just something, I would never thought that this is how he was going to answer me. You know what I'm saying? It's funny how I look back on it. But that's the way he answered me. And then it happened swiftly. I mean, I'm all these years I spent in this sin that I'm in and drinking, and I'm thinking I'm in it for years, and I'm thinking I'm not gonna come out of it or any of that. but it happened swiftly. Like it happened fast. Like it happened fast. So the woman, she reached out to me like right when, because this is what happened. I told her, I said, look, if you don't want me to get in this class or nothing like that, close this door. My flesh was starting to talk to me. My flesh was starting to start making excuses. And I said, hey, I said, hey, God, if you don't want me to do this class, I ain't about to do this. I think I might have jumped the gun. And, I'm thinking like, I ain't about to go to these people's class. Like, that's just me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm jumping the gun. And it's getting close to, like, I think like 2 days before the class started, and I hadn't heard nothing from nobody. So I'm thinking that, okay, I'm not about to get in this class. I'm not about to do this. That was just me. That was just my flesh. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to do this class. And then lo and behold, that weekend, I think it was a Thursday or Friday, the lady called me that weekend. The class starts that Monday. She called, before I knew what was happening, I was set up, I was enrolled in the class, and I was ready to go. My sister sent me the book, the Bible study book, and everything. And it's crazy because I cannot remember what it was called. It was BSF. I know that was what we were doing. That's the name of the group. But I'm trying to remember what the Bible study was. I think it was in return. I don't know. I'll get back to you guys on what the name of the class that I was taking, because it's crazy how it lined up. And I'm gonna tell you in a minute how it lined up. But so yeah, I was like, okay, before I knew, I was signed up for this class, okay? And all I know is on Monday I'm going to this class, okay? That day, I think I did. I think I drank that day. But after that, I didn't drink no more. That weekend, I could be wrong with the dates. It could be that weekend or it could have been that weekend. I don't know. All I know is before that class started, I had stopped drinking. I had put that bottle down. I put it down. I didn't have a chance to think about it. I didn't have, how if you're in your addiction, it's okay, I'm gonna drink today and then I'll stop tomorrow, or I'm gonna just let me drink this weekend and I'll stop on Monday. It didn't happen like that for me. It just happened fast. The way everything happened, and everything happened so swiftly, I didn't have a chance to do any of that. I put it down. I put the bottle down. And I have not picked it up since. And mind you, I said this was back in September of 2025. I haven't had a drink since. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I did smoke cigarettes after that, here and there. But after being in the class for about a month, I put the cigarettes down. The Lord took the desire for me to want to smoke cigarettes. He took that away. So I haven't had a drink or a cigarette since then. And then right after that, Jubilee 50 was coming around again. That came around again. I think we started that in November, if I'm not mistaken, because I know it's 50 days of consecration. I know we're in it through Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that. So I want to say sometime in November it started again. So here I am in this class, as Bible studies class, then right into Jubilee 50. So this time I'm proud. I was able to do the consecration and everything. I was sober. I was alcohol free, cigarette free. I was able to actually do this consecration with no addiction. The Lord, He healed me that fast. I don't have the desire. I didn't have the desire or any of it. I didn't want it anymore. And when I say the Lord worked on me swiftly, I mean, I literally seen a move of God taking place on my life during that time. And like I said, I want to give shout out again to Ebony Evans, because that Jubilee 50, those years, it really helped. When I didn't think God heard me. I didn't think He heard me. I didn't think He was listening. But that same time, that time, same time, that year that I was calling out to him to save me, and I was deep in my sin, that next year, at that same time, that next year, I was sober. I was healed of my addictions. And so, anybody that is out there and you're struggling and you praying to God and you call it out to him and you don't think he hears you, he hears you. Just keep going. Oh, God, excuse me, Lord. He is so good. He's such a good God. Can't nobody tell me nothing about my God, because he is still in the healing business. He saved me. He pulled me out of that pit that I was in. When I say the Lord did a work on me, he did a work in me, and he's still doing a work in me. He still is doing a work in me. Don't get me wrong. When you sit up there and you're in your addiction, don't think that it don't have consequences, because it does. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still being healed of some things in my body, from doing that. But God is good. God is good. God is good. I'm here to tell you today, do not give up. I am an example of what he can do. I am an example. The Lord took me right up out of that pit. I thought I was knocking on death's door. I was knocking on death's door. Do you hear me? And he came and he pulled me up out of that pit. So I'm here to tell you, whatever addiction that you find yourself deep down in, just keep showing up. Just keep showing up. Just keep showing up. Just keep calling out to him. Because that name Jesus, do you hear me? That name, just call on Jesus and don't give up, and come to him as you are. Everybody be trying to come to God like, oh God, I gotta wait until I get myself together. I can't show up to God like this. I gotta get myself together. I gotta look good. I gotta feel good. I gotta be right. Man, if y'all don't cut that mess out, God says, come as you are. In your sin and all. It's him that has to heal you. It's him that has to pull you out of that sin that you find yourself in. We cannot do it. This flesh that we in, we can't do that. We cannot do that ourselves. It has to be him. He says, come as you are, and he means that. Come as you are. And forget what anybody else is talking about. You know what I'm saying? Forget what anybody else is talking about. You can't show up to God like that, or you can't. Man, forget that. Yes, you can. Show up to God just as you are. Like I told you, I was drunk. I was drunk praying. I was drunk. Okay? Do you hear me? But all I knew to do is continue to show up. I just knew to show up, and I just knew to keep calling on him. And I kept that faith. I kept that little bit mustard seed. That's all you need. And he answered me. Now today, I'm losing the weight that I had from drinking. I'm dropping weight like crazy. He's still healing me, but I'm dropping weight like crazy. I don't have no need to want to drink. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to drink. I don't care about none of that stuff, man. And I promised him, I told God, I will spend the rest of my days doing what it is that he wants me to do. Telling my story, telling my testimony. And guys, I got plenty more to tell. Trust me, this story of mine, it goes deep. But this is what he wanted me to focus on today, is the addiction that I have found myself in. And I just want to tell whoever is finding whatever addiction that you find yourself in and you feel like there's just no hope, Jesus. Give it to Jesus. Give it to Jesus. Like I said, he is still in the healing business. He took me up out of that thing. Okay? You cannot look at me today and thought that you would have never looked at me today and thought that I was a full-blown alcoholic. Okay? I was a full-blown alcoholic. Okay? And God took me up out of that thing. Like I said, in the year 2025, that winter, remember I said 2024, that winter, that's when I was calling out to him and praying to him and doing those consecrations. And then here we come around again to that same time, that winter, 2025, I found myself sober. Okay? And I did those consecrations. We had the Jubilee 50 and Give God February again, and I did them sober. Okay? And here I am today. I'm here to tell my story that the Lord has healed me. Okay? He is still working on me, don't get me wrong, but he has healed me of that thing. Okay? And yeah. So like I said, don't give up. Do not give up. Okay? Because he is working it out for you. And you will come out of this thing. Okay? You will come out of it. Glory be to God. Glory be to God. Glory be to God. I thank you. Oh, thank you, Lord Jesus. He did that. He did that. I give God, he gets all the glory. He gets all the glory. Come to God as you are. But yeah, that's my testimony. Like I said, the way that he worked that out for me. He knew I was not going to be showing up to them people look like that in that state. And that's how he did it for me. That's how he brought me up out of that thing. It just took that one step, that one thing. It just took that one thing, you know. And then after that, like I said, the Jubilee 50 came up right after that consecration. He didn't give me time to pick that bottle back up. Because like I said, he had me in the Bible study, was in September. And then right into that, the Jubilee 50 happened in November. It took me right into a consecration. I'm doing this Bible study class, and he's taking me right into a consecration. Consecration lasts 50 days, okay? So he working that thing up out of me. Like I said, we was doing fasting, and them fasts was intense. Okay, and so he's working that thing up out of me. Everything that needed to come up out of me, he was taking it out of me, okay? It was like back to back. And then, you know, we come out of that. And then, you know, we have our little break in January and go right back into a Give God February. That's another consecration he had me in. So when I tell you the Lord had me in a fasting and praying season, he had me in a fasting and praying season, okay? He was working that thing up out of me, okay? And so, yeah, here I am today. And I give God the glory. I give God the glory, okay? But, yeah, I don't know how this thing is going to go. You know, the Lord wanted me to start posting again. Them years ago that I was on here and I was posting, I don't know if I was doing it in God's will. I don't know if I was doing it in my will. I don't know. But I know I went through some stuff that sat me down. And I don't know if anybody was on that, saw those videos before, but I'm tell you right now, it's a whole new thing. Okay, this is God's thing. This is His channel. This is His thing. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna do this the way He do it. And like I said, on this channel, it's gonna be raw, uncut, unfiltered. What you see is what you get. Okay, what you see is what you get. All right, and so I don't have no days when I'm gonna come on here. I don't have none of that. Okay, it's not none of that. It's what he say goes. Okay, and I ain't doing nothing outside of that. All right, so I'm gonna get on off of here. You know, if the Lord had, whenever, like I said, whenever He calls me to come back, I will. You know, so it's whenever He say. But like I said, whoever is struggling, don't give up. God is coming to save you. He saved me. He came and got me. Okay? You know, when they say He comes back for that one, He came back. Okay? He came back and He got me. Okay? He came and pulled me up out of that pit. All right? So can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't come on here telling me nothing about my God. All right? So I'm going to get up off here. I'm going to end that. You know, like I said, I'm new to this. This is a different person you're getting. I'm new to this. So just bear with me, y'all. Okay? But have a nice day. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.